morning, Jim.
Good morning, Cher.
This is our coach and consultant morning show, our coffee with our viewers to talk about actionable steps and ideas that help them transform their business today. We're still getting you ready for tonight's webinar and tomorrow's VIP day on Built to Sell.
We're in the throes of finalizing things. We have a guest speaker who's going to be joining us for that event, Oren Horowitz from Firepower Capital, which is a firm in Toronto that does mergers and acquisitions, among other work for clients. And Oren specializes in making data valuable for companies.
I had a chat with him yesterday, actually, right here on our live, and he has some fun insights. We finished the live and he went, "Oh, I should have said this." And I said, no, save that. That's why we're bringing them to the webinar. So we had some time when people like us geek out over making your business more successful. Sometimes it's in ways that just allow you to tap into a tool that you didn't realize was going to be so powerfully transformative. In our world, that's the business plan, and we're going to talk about that today. In Oren's world, it's actually understanding the data that you have that is available to you in your business to make wiser decisions. In our side of data, it's the financials themselves, tapping into the market research, as well as you're building out who are you going to be in the marketplace. So today we're going to talk about how does a business plan actually make your business more valuable to you as well as to a future buyer. Many people think of the business plan as that thing that's in the binder collecting dust.
In the drawer, on the shelf, not being used. It's got some strategy in it, but having strategy doesn't create action items and you don't know how to implement it. And it's a grand thing that talks about 5 years from now. And really what you're worried about is your sales and your marketing that's going to impact the next quarter. The next month.
We really do business planning a little different here because we can absolutely help you understand a business plan that helps you capitalize and raise funds for your business. And in actuality, your business plan is a tool for you internally when done well. So our business plan name, we have a very nautical theme at Podium Prosperity Group and Tradewinds Group. The Tradewinds program is the idea of getting you out of still waters, out of stuck, bringing the Tradewinds to blow you forward and give you momentum. So our business plan for that group, that stage in your business, is called the pilot. If you can describe in nautical terms why we've chosen that.
So pilots are in being out on the ocean. Large ships, when they get into treacherous waters or narrow channels or places where even with charts, you run the risk of running aground or hitting a sandbar or hitting a shoal or ending up in the wrong place because there's lots of islands and navigation. Ships will bring on local experts who know the waters like the back of their hand. And those people are called pilots. So we call our business plan the pilot because it helps guide the ship, your business in this case, through a specific period of time. And I think one of the differences that we how we think about business plans a little bit different is sometimes there's a place for a, say, 3 to 5 year business plan because you need to go out and get financing and the bank's going to ask you for a 5-year business plan. And that actually is a thing that needs to be done at that point. But really a business plan, as we think of it, is an annual renewal of the projects and activities that you're going to use to drive your business forward over the next 12 months. Different than a budget, though.
Very different because it has to tie into the CEO's vision for the business, right? There's a couple of points to having a business plan. The value of actually business planning are twofold. First of all, it is a management tool when done right. And secondly, it actually is where we take the CEO's vision of what am I building here over the next 5, 10, 20, 100 years? What am I building? And turning it into something that creates the future. I think people miss that, that the act of planning is about grabbing that vision.
It's the most, I think it's the most, one of the most creative, valuable things you can do in business is to go through the business planning process because it brings your vision to life in a way that can be communicated to the people that it matters to, and that is your employees, and those are your customers, and those are your vendors, and those are your partners in your value chain, which is a whole other topic we'll cover some other time. But that the process of creating a business plan is absolutely fundamental to getting what it is that you see as your business, as your vision, out of your head as the business owner and into a format and a place where people can actually work to it.
I feel like we need your quote.
Yeah, so this is my quote about business planning, which is to never confound the pragmatic and essential management tool that is a business plan with the profound creation that is the business planning process. Two things happen in business planning very much. It creates a tool that allows you to rally people around doing specific things to accomplish it, but it also brings your vision to life.
So when we create a business plan, if we could itemize, how is the way that we work with business owners to create their business plan different? We have a proprietary process around that, and there are some things we've recognized that are vital.
It's an inclusive process. So it starts with capturing the CEO's vision, but then working through a process that expands that vision into the company, creating missions and a mission statement and values for the company, which kind of is often where people think that that's not a valuable thing because it's too esoteric and it's too, well, that's interesting, but what do I actually do with that? So our planning process then takes that and with the CEO and potentially members of the team turns it into actionable steps that are specifically mapped to financial results, so that if you're doing project number 1 in your business plan, you can expect it to have this effect on your revenue and this effect on your gross margin and this effect on your profit. Literally, you could take the summary of your business plan and stick it on your fridge and look at it every morning and go, hey, we're working on these 3 things and we expect them to have this result in the next 3 months, 6 months, like this year.
I think that blend of both that strategic and vision-driven purpose of the business plan and the actual goals to achieve the results, right? That's missing from most business plans, is the how do we achieve those results? Partly because it's a 5-year plan, it can be very hard to roll that back into what do I do this month or this quarter? So taking the strategy, bringing it down to goals and then specific projects that are designed to have a start, an end date, an impact, that have people assigned to carry them forward, to bring that enthusiasm. It brings the plan to life so that it is visceral, so that it's actionable and measurable. That plan rolls out all of the meetings, all of the things that you're going to be doing with your team over the coming years so that you can actually have very wise conversations about them, equip people to fulfill their roles within that planning, and recognize the value that they are bringing to the company. Each goal then having that lens of how does this take us toward our vision? How does it allow us to live our values or verb our values so that we can demonstrate to ourselves, our employees, and our stakeholders that we have this value. We are intentionally building a business forward. Also creating an employer brand, which is a whole other topic, but valuable.
And that segues us into who else cares about the plan. So your employees do, you do, obviously, your vendors do, and your customers do. But another stakeholder who's going to be very interested in this plan is a potential acquirer of your business, which is built to sell. If you have on a regular basis, and let's call it 5 years, you're thinking of selling 5 years from now. If over the course of the 5 years leading up to the point where you think you want to either sell or bring in an equity partner, because there are lots of ways to exit or partly exit your business, you have a history of creating annual business plans and achieving the goals in the business plan, you can, with confidence, tell a buyer that you have a very good idea what the next 5 years look like because you have a history of planning and achieving your goals. Because the buyer of your business is not buying yesterday's results, they're buying tomorrow's opportunities. And if you can prove that you've been successful at capturing opportunities, when you tell them that you think this is what this business is capable of, you instill them with a level of confidence that actually will be reflected in the price that they're willing to pay for the business.
That understanding that people buy credibility and they invest in management teams that have a proven track record, it just makes sense that you start tracking this now. You start showing your ability to achieve an intention. There are many brilliant business ideas out there, many brilliant business people who are great at doing what they do. The challenge is there are not as many people who can prove that it's executable and build a proven history that is that source of credibility and value.
And we're going to have a fun little mechanism tonight and very much in person tomorrow to walk through how the math of that actually works. When you can demonstrate to someone that your projections are credible, we're going to work through a little bit how the math really adds value to your business.
So do you ever need a 5-year plan then?
So a 5-year plan, or let's call it a 3-year plan with 2 extra years, my own belief is it's very hard to look out 5 years in almost any business. So when I've built plans, and I've been doing corporate planning for 25 years, you tend to do sort of 3 solid years and then 2, it looks like we're headed in this direction. You do your last 2 years. You might need that just for an external stakeholder like a bank. A bank's going to say, what's your 5-year plan? And they're going to want to know. And again, if you have a history of doing planning and hitting your results, then that's better for the cost of borrowing or maybe even getting borrowing. And when somebody comes to buy, as you prepare to sell your business, if that's what you're going to do, or get an equity investor in your business, it's usually good to have a longer term plan than a 1-year plan, because they're buying the future opportunity that you have created by running your business successfully.
Which is really a very different kind of business plan when you consider it's probably capturing a new opportunity when you're getting ready to sell your business. Right? You've reached a certain stage, and we'll talk more about that during the VIP workshop. But it's identifying a whole new theme versus those in-year plans that we update at the Do This Next workshop on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Rolling out a new 1-year plan each year so that you've got that groundedness in where am I at, what stage in my business, what's the theme of the year ahead, how do I focus and move the bar on those key goals this year so that I'm not having no goals, right? That concept of when you've captured the goals for the year ahead, you aren't distracted by all the other opportunity that you're constantly surrounded by.
So our Do This Next workshop, which will be coming up a little later in the fall, is a way to step out of your business, look at the plan that you accomplished last year, and take the time, maybe with one of your key people, maybe with your operations manager, your right-hand person. We almost all have one. You can bring them along too, and that will be a way of stepping out of your business, working on the business, thinking about your year ahead in a very practical way.
These 1-year plans are actually easy to do compared to the idea of doing that giant 5-year plan as well. They get you into the habit of planning and executing and achieving and measuring in a way that is very accessible. And realistically, I think that's why most of our viewers don't have business plans, is because it is harder to do and it doesn't seem actionable. There's why would I do it?
Yes.
I don't need another binder on my shelf. This type of business planning is what lets you know that you're on top of your business and that your team is on top of the business as well. It's a place of certainty and peace of mind and being able to sleep at night when you know you're running to plan and have a way of proving that to yourself and measuring it on an ongoing basis.
So we hope we see you tonight online, or better yet, if you can get to the live event tomorrow. And Oren will also be here tomorrow speaking about data, as we mentioned earlier. And we have a lot of much more detail and very pragmatic approach to build to sell.
Well, we'll hope to see you there. And of course, if you're watching this after the event, do make sure that you reach out and connect with us, because we love to help people understand how to more easily empower themselves in the business and unlock your actual potential.
I'm Jim Pillow, I'm the consultant.
And I'm Cher Cunningham, I'm the coach. We'll hopefully see you tonight, and if not, even better tomorrow.